This story is brought to you by English Tales for Learners, a YouTube channel created to help enthusiasts learn the English language through motivational stories, while also inspiring their mental growth. Now, let's embark on this inspiring and transformative journey. Imagine a life where your dreams are buried under the weight of hardship and self-doubt, until a powerful realization ignites your mind's hidden potential. What if that realization could lift you from the edge of despair to a triumphant rise against all odds? Stay with us as we unfold this deeply moving yet motivating tale on English Tales for Learners. Once upon a time, in a remote village surrounded by dense, quiet forests, lived a girl named Emma, who was struggling to learn English through English Tales for Learners. Her childhood was marked by relentless hardship. Her father, a frail farmer with weathered hands, worked tirelessly on a barren land that yielded little, his spirit worn down by years of struggle. Her mother, a gentle woman, suffered from a severe illness that left her weak, coughing relentlessly, and confined to a bed made of worn-out blankets. The village, though small, was plagued by poverty, and the family's misfortune was often attributed to their lack of resources. Emma, the eldest of 5 siblings, carried the heavy responsibility of their survival. Every day she sacrificed school to care for her ailing mother, her small hands trembling as she wiped sweat from her mother's brow and prepared meager meals over a smoky fire. Her younger siblings cried for food she couldn't always provide, their hungry eyes a constant reminder of their plight. Yet, amid this struggle, she held on to an old, tattered book given by her kind teacher, a book of English stories that offered her a glimpse of a better life. Emma dreamed of becoming a writer, her words a light to guide her family out of poverty. But life dealt her a harsh blow. One rainy night, after days of worsening health, her mother passed away peacefully, her eyes closing with a faint smile. The village doctor, an overworked man with little medicine, confirmed it was due to her prolonged illness. Emma's father, overwhelmed by grief, turned to alcohol, stumbling home drunk each night, leaving her to manage the household alone. At just 15, she was forced to abandon her dreams and take a job in a rundown factory on the village outskirts, where the air smelled of rust and the machines hummed with a relentless rhythm. Her days turned into a blur of exhaustion. Her fingers blistered from handling rough materials. Her back ached from long hours, and her lungs strained from the dust. At night she returned to a cold, quiet home, her siblings' soft sobs echoing as she tried to comfort them with empty promises. Her mind replayed memories of her mother's suffering, fueling a growing sense of hopelessness. She whispered to herself, "My dreams are gone. I'll never learn English or write. I'm just a tired shadow with no future." One dreary evening, as she trudged home from the factory, a light rain urging her forward, she stumbled upon an old library, its windows dusty and its shelves sagging. The door was ajar, and inside, she met a figure that caught her attention. Mr. Alexandre, an elderly man with kind, wise eyes and a voice steady with experience. His presence was comforting, his worn coat suggesting a life of hard work, and the air around him carried the scent of old paper. He held a book with a faded cover and said, "Emma, your mind is like a garden left untended. You've let doubt and hardship choke it. Now nurture it with effort to bloom again. To fuel your brain, start with simple steps. Read for 10-15 minutes daily to sharpen your focus. Take short walks to clear your mind. And jot down 3 positive thoughts each day to build resilience." Trembling, her voice shaky, Emma confessed, "I have no time, no hope. My life feels like a dead end." Mr. Alexander's expression softened as he leaned closer, his tone encouraging. "Make time from your struggles, and build hope from your efforts. The fuel for your mind comes from knowledge, determination, and small, steady actions. Here are more tips to fuel your brain. Learn a new English word each day to expand your vocabulary. Write about your challenges for 10 minutes to process your emotions, and practice deep breathing for a minute to reduce stress. Let these become your strength to overcome this hardship." He handed her a simple notebook filled with English lessons, saying, "This is your starting point. Use it to grow or remain stuck where you are." Grateful yet determined, Emma took the notebook and returned home. Under the dim light of a borrowed lamp, she began her quiet journey. Each night, After her siblings slept and the house grew still, she studied the English words, her hands steadying as she traced the letters. She started with basic words: pain, hope, rise, then formed sentences that reflected her life. I am tired, but I will try. Hardship will not stop me. Following Mr. Alexandra's tips, she read for 10 minutes each night, took short walks around her yard to clear her thoughts, and wrote 3 positive notes, like I am learning, and my family needs me, to lift her spirits. She wrote about her mother's illness, the factory's grueling work, the guilt of her siblings' hunger, and the memories that weighed on her. Her hands grew calloused from writing, the ink sometimes smudging, but she persisted, driven by a need to prove herself. The memories of her mother's encouragement, combined with her new habits, pushed her forward, a mental strength she hadn't recognized before. One determined night, after weeks of effort, Emma completed a story, a heartfelt account of a girl overcoming poverty and loss through her writing, supporting her family with her words. Exhausted but proud, she fell asleep with the notebook beside her. The next morning, with a racing heart, she shared the story with Mr. Alexandra, who read it with a warm smile. "This is your voice," he said. "Share it with others. Keep fueling your brain with these habits, reading, walking, and writing, to stay strong." With nervous hands, she sent it to a local newspaper, unsure if it would be accepted, fearing rejection. Weeks passed in tense silence, the village life continuing its grind. The factory remained harsh, and her siblings' health wavered. But then, one sunny afternoon, a letter arrived. Her story was published, and readers responded with letters of encouragement. One note praised how her words inspired a struggling student, while another thanked her for giving hope to a poor family. Encouraged, Emma created a website inspired by English Tales for Learners, sharing her English stories online, each one a testament to her resilience. She continued her brain-fueling routine, reading daily, taking walks, and writing positive reflections. Her words reached hundreds, her struggles turning into a source of strength that brightened her family's life. The factory job lessened as her writing brought small earnings, and her siblings began to thrive, their laughter a sign of recovery. The village noticed her progress, whispering of her determination. One bright evening, Emma returned to the library to thank Mr. Alexandre, finding him sorting books with a gentle smile. His notebook was gone, replaced by a simple note. "You've grown your mind. Keep nurturing it with reading, walking, and writing, or it will fade." Emma realized he was a wise mentor, not a mystical figure. She whispered, "You gave me a new beginning," and promised to never let her mind weaken again. But then came a new, challenging twist. One night, as Emma wrote her latest story, a break-in shattered her peace. Thieves, desperate from the village's poverty, stormed her home, tearing her manuscript and scattering her notes in a frantic search for valuables. Panic gripped her. Had her hard work been destroyed? The next day, she found her work ruined, the pages crumpled and ink-stained. Heartbroken, she returned to the library, where Mr. Alexandra's note had been replaced with new advice scratched on paper. Hardships evolve. Write to rebuild and use your brain-fueling tips. Read to regain focus, walk to calm your mind, and write to restore your strength or lose your progress. Shaken, Emma realized the fight wasn't over. Poverty and setbacks would test her resolve now that she'd tasted success. With unwavering determination, she picked up a new pen, her hands steady but resolute. She resumed her routine, reading for 15 minutes to refocus, walking to ease her stress, and writing a new story. A tale of a writer overcoming theft and despair through perseverance. As she finished, the fear faded, replaced by a quiet strength. By morning, she felt renewed, knowing this was a temporary setback. She vowed to keep fueling her mind with these tips, learning English and writing, for challenges would always arise, waiting for her to give up. As we close, let your deepest struggles ignite a fire within you. Learn English to fuel your brain and rise from the ashes of your hardships, no matter how tough. Share your story in the comments and subscribe to English Tales for Learners for a new tale every week to inspire your journey and overcome your obstacles.